Millions of people are losing their jobs. The war on terror rages on. Hundreds of thousands of people die in Haiti. But all I really want to know is, who is Tiger Woods' story?
Welcome to the first episode of WeAreChange TV. We have a great show in store for you today. We have famed peace activist Cindy Sheehan on the show.
We also have Charlie Veitch of the Love Police joining us in studio today, all the way from London, England.
We hope you guys enjoy the show.
In the news, New York City today is organizing a pep rally for the New York Jets football team in Times Square. Because who cares about a $12 trillion debt, rising unemployment numbers, while homeless shelters and schools are being closed in New York City? CNN is also reporting jobless claims have currently surged to a 2-month high. But if you consume enough beer and care more about useless sports, all your problems will just go away.
Jets, 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 Jets. In other Jets news, a Jets fan was arrested last week in San Diego for cheering for the Jets. The man was next to an off-duty San Diego cop who then sent his pals in to manhandle and arrest the man for cheering for the wrong team. In other police state news, 5 New York City school system students are suing the NYPD for routinely abusing students and arresting them for non-criminal activities. The students claim the NYPD have a long-standing pattern of abuse, unlawful arrests, and excessive force against minority students who commit even minor infractions, like talking back, being late for class, or having a cell phone in school.
I could tell you, as a New York City public high school student in Utrecht High School and Brooklyn Studio, that is 110% true. Being a student in New York City High School is like being in jail every day. You get airport security, you got searched all the time, I was detained, and I also had the record for the most detentions in my high school.
That doesn't surprise me.
The NYPD also refuses to acknowledge any of these problems, even though 500 complaints are filed each year against school officers.
In other security news, Washington, D.C. is trying to persuade the European Union to implement airport naked body scanners, but European officials have concerns about privacy. The incoming EU Justice Commissioner Viviane Reding told the European Parliament last week, "Our need for security cannot justify invasion of privacy. Our citizens are not just objects, but they are human beings."
I really thought the Europeans liked showing their naked bodies everywhere.
The current body scanners in America keep the image of your naked body in its memory and also have the ability to transfer those images to other devices. Oh, but we don't have to worry about our government invading our privacy, do we, Luke?
Well, in related news, previously before, the NSA was caught spying on Americans' private phone sex conversations. Perverts. An organization called AE Not 11 Truth has received a milestone this past week, gathering 1,000 professional architects and engineers members. They are currently calling for a new investigation into the events of 9/11. The organizations claim physical evidence and analysis is completely inconsistent with the official story of 9/11.
The relief effort in Haiti is going on as people give what they can to help one of the poorest countries in crisis after the devastating earthquake.
Barack Obama has urged Americans to donate money to the American Red Cross. Yes, the same Red Cross that after 9/11 pocketed half of the donations that Americans raised to help the victims of 9/11. There are still 50,000 9/11 first responders who are suffering from lung ailments due to the air quality at Ground Zero during their rescue efforts. They are still not getting the proper aid and assistance they need after 9 years.
After the devastating San Francisco earthquake in 1989, the Red Cross distributed only $10 million of the $50 million they raised in aid money.
There are many of these examples, but as all this is happening, real organizations who give 100% of their proceeds are left out of the spotlight. Barack Obama is also pledging $100 million to the relief effort in Haiti. At the same time, he is also asking Congress for a record-breaking $708 billion defense budget for more wars in Yemen and Pakistan. This is the largest war budget in American history.
$33 billion of that is to go to the continued occupations of Afghanistan and Iraq.
To illustrate this, we have one single penny here. Now remember, from now on, one single penny represents $100 million. Now this is what Obama is pledging towards helping people in Haiti. We'll put this down right here. And now we're going to show you what Barack Obama is spending on the war. Make sure you understand each one of these pennies represents $100 million. Now, we're not saying all this money should go to Haiti, but we're just wanting to show you that this is the money that's going to help save people's lives, and this is the money that your government is spending in killing lives.
In our next segment, Cindy Sheehan will be joining us to discuss Obama's war policies. Joining us in studio today is Cindy Sheehan, a famed peace activist. Welcome to the show, Cindy.
Oh, thank you for inviting me. It's great to be here.
Pleasure to have you.
Now, Cindy, I always wanted to ask you, Bush is out of office. Shouldn't you be happy that a black liberal Democrat is president?
Well, I'm very happy that Bush is out of office, but unfortunately, it really doesn't matter who's president. It's the system that is what's in charge of our country. I voted for a black liberal. Her name's Cynthia McKinney, and she actually had a really good platform for true change, and she's courageous and she has integrity. Barack Obama is just another member of the corporatocracy, and I'm not happy at all. I didn't have any high expectations for him, but he's actually gone even lower than my low expectations of him with expanding the drone bombing program in Pakistan, now bombing Yemen, increasing troops to Afghanistan, not decreasing troops to Iraq. And we all know that there's more mercenaries in both countries than there are actually soldiers.
If there's ever a chance for a third party to win an election?
It's getting harder and harder every day. Today, before I left, and I haven't been able to really research the details, but before I left the apartment I'm staying in Brooklyn, I found out that the Supreme Court ruled that limiting a corporation's amount of money they spend on campaigns limits a corporation's freedom of speech. Because in 1886, of course, corporations were deemed to have the same 14th Amendment protection that people do. And now the Supreme Court said that limiting their campaign contributions limits their free speech. Well, corporations are not people, and money is not free speech. So that was a terrible, terrible blow. I feel like for so many years, our representative republic, which many people falsely call a democracy, has been on life support. But I'm very fearful that today's decision actually killed it. So what do we do now? Our republic doesn't exist. It's a corporatocracy. It's by and for the corporations. Of course, we don't have any limits on our campaign contributions anymore, but how many of us have millions of dollars? I saw a video today. If the top companies actually only gave 1% of their profits, that would pump $6 billion into campaigns, which would be over 3 times more than was spent. I think campaign spending and donations were already out of control. But now, how do we compete with that? How do we, the people, get our voices heard anymore? Luke, I've seen you take a bullhorn to get your voice heard. I was just in front of the White House on Saturday night at midnight with a bullhorn telling Barack Obama to wake up and come out and talk to me. How do we get our voices heard in this country?
Plutocracy.
Kleptocracy, plutocracy, oligarchy. Mm-hmm. I call it the robber class. How do we get our voices heard? We don't have billions of dollars, and that's the only thing that our politicians listen to.
Yeah, our weapon at this point is just our voices, and they're even wanting to stop our right to use bullhorns or to have these free speech demonstrations where they want to herd us into a little free speech zone and just control whatever the last bit of voice that we have.
Mm-hmm. Well, the Constitution and the USA Patriot Act cannot exist simultaneously. Mm-hmm. It's either one or the other. And so we for a long time have not had a constitutional republic, but the decision today by the Supreme Court, just by supporting a corporation's right to free speech, they gagged the rest of us. Mm-hmm. But when Obama became president, a lot of my friends and people who supported me before, I got that hatred just pounded into me, because I was actually critiquing the policies and the system.
Yeah. How could you criticize Barack Obama?
Right, but I'm like, but look he's doing the same exact thing you criticized George Bush for doing.